Namaste. Welcome to the lecture series on the subject Applied Thermodynamics, Module 1, in that Part 1, Air Standard Cycles. This is lecture number 7. Myself, Dr. N. Satish Kumar, Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering, Canara Engineering College, Bantwal. So in this lecture, we will continue to solve few more numericals on dual cycle. The compression ratio of an ideal dual cycle is 15. Air is at 101 kilopascal and 22 degrees Celsius at the beginning of compression and at 2000 K at the end of heat addition process. Total amount of heat transferred to air is 1000 kilojoules per kg. Assuming constant specific heats for air, determine the fraction of heat transferred at constant volume, the thermal efficiency of the cycle. So let us analyze the question first. The compression ratio of an ideal dual cycle. So straight away you can draw the TS diagram for the dual cycle. So the compression ratio is given as 15. So RC is 15. The air is at 101 kilopascal, that is P1, and T1 is 22 degree Celsius. Okay, that is 295 Kelvin. That is at the beginning of compression. That is why it is taken as P1 and T1 at this point. This is the beginning of the compression. 2000 K at the end of heat addition process. Now you see you have to be careful. So heat addition takes place at constant volume from 2 to 3 and at constant pressure from 3 to 4. So two heat addition process. Constant volume and constant pressure. So the heat addition ends at 4. It begins at 3. Constant volume ends at 3. Constant pressure ends at 4. So this 2000 Kelvin is nothing but the T4. You see, be careful. So this is at the end of heat addition process, means it is T4. The amount of heat transferred to air is 1000 kilojoules. So you know that here the heat is transferred at constant volume as well as at constant pressure. So total heat transferred during process 2 to 3 plus during the process 3 to 4. So it is taken as Q in as 1000 kilojoules per kg. So assuming constant specific heats for air, determine the fraction of heat transferred at constant volume and also the thermal efficiency of the cycle. So as usual, let us begin from the isentropic process 1 to 2. So T2 by T1 is equal to V1 by V2 to the power gamma minus 1, which is nothing but RC to the power gamma minus 1, or T2 is equal to T1 RC to the power gamma minus 1. So T1 is 295, RC is 15, gamma 1.4. So after substitution and simplification, you will get T2 as 871.48 Kelvin or 598.48 degree Celsius. Okay, so now we found out T2. Okay, so T1 is given, you found out T2. Now to find out T3, so you should know that there is no other information given like pressure P3. If P3 is given, then you would have calculated. So but T4 is given. In between, so one extra data is given, that is Q in, total heat supplied is equal to 1000 kilojoules. So here total heat supplied Q in is nothing but, as you know, the heat addition process or heat addition takes place in two processes in dual cycle. One is at constant volume process 2 to 3, that is Q in 2 to 3, and other one is during constant pressure process 3 to 4. So Q in 2 to 3, that is constant volume process, is nothing but Cv into T3 minus T2, whereas at constant pressure process is nothing but Cp into T4 minus T3. Now simplifying, so Cp into T4 I multiply and I take it outside as the first term. Then Cv T3 minus Cp T3 is there. So I write minus T3 into Cp minus Cv. So minus I take outside and inside the bracket I will write Cp minus Cv. And then Cv into T2, which is minus term. So it is written as it is. So you want T3, so T3 is equal to, so this T3 minus T3 Cp into Cv, that you have to take it to the other side. So this side it remains Cp T4 minus Cv T2, and Q in comes to this side, so minus Q in, so divided by Cp minus Cv. So substitute and simplify, so you will get the temperature T3 is 1338.69 Kelvin or 1065.69 degree Celsius. Now let us find out the heat added at constant volume. So Cv into T3 minus T2, So 0.718 into 1338.69 minus 871.48. So we'll get it as 335.46 kilojoules per kg. So the first answer you have to find out is the fraction of heat added at constant volume. So that is why we found this, we calculated this Q in 2 to 3. Okay, Q in 2 to 3 divided by total Q in. So 335.46 divided by 1000, so it is 33.55%. This is a fraction of heat added at constant volume. So out of total heat added, 33.5% is added at constant volume. So remaining 66.45, so that is added at constant pressure. Okay. Now coming to the thermal efficiency of the cycle. So for that, let us find out cutoff ratio first. So cutoff ratio rho is nothing but V4 by V3, which is nothing but T4 by T3. So you know the values of T4 and T3. So cutoff ratio is 1.494. Now isentropic 4 to 5 is the isentropic process, because ultimately, so my intention is to find out T5 here. Okay, because I want to calculate the heat rejected at the during constant volume process 5 to 1. Okay, which is nothing but Cv into T5 minus T1. So I want T5. So for that I am using process 4 to 5, which is isentropic. T5 by T4 is equal to V4 by V5 to the power gamma minus 1, or is equal to rho to the power gamma minus 1 divided by Rc to the power gamma minus 1. So T5 is equal to T4 into rho to the power gamma minus 1 by Rc to the power gamma minus 1. If you substitute and simplify, you will get the temperature at 0.5 is 794.93 Kelvin, or 521.93 degree Celsius. So once you calculate T5, so now you can calculate heat rejected during constant volume process 5 to 1. So Q out is equal to Cv into T5 minus T1. So substitute here for Cv, T5 and T1. So you get the heat rejected during the process 5 to 1 as 358.94 kilojoules per kg. So once you find out Q in and Q out, so you have the general expression for efficiency. So eta Th dual is equal to 1 minus Q out by Q in, or Q in minus Q out by Q in, anything you can write. So substitute here, so you'll get it as 64.10%. Okay, 64.1%. Okay, we'll solve this problem. An oil engine works on mixed cycle. The compression ratio is 10 and expansion ratio is 5.5. The initial pressure and temperature of air are 1 bar and 300 Kelvin respectively. The heat liberated at constant pressure is twice the heat liberated at constant volume. The expansion and compression follow the law PV to the power 1.3 is equal to constant. Find the pressure and temperature at salient points, the efficiency of the engine, the mean effective pressure. Okay, so an oil engine works on mixed cycle. So mixed cycle means it is dual cycle. So compression ratio is given as 10, expansion ratio is 5.5. So both RC, which is V1 by V2, and RE, which is V5 by V4, is given here. Okay, so RE is 5.5 and RC is 10. The pressure and temperature, that is initial pressure and temperature, are 1 bar and 300 Kelvin. So P1 is 1 bar, T1 is 300 Kelvin. You see, very interesting. The heat liberated at constant pressure, the heat liberated at constant pressure is twice the heat liberated at constant volume. So heat liberated at constant pressure, that is Q3 to 4, is twice the heat liberated at constant volume. So Q in 3 to 4 is equal to twice Q in 2 to 3. The expansion and compression follow the law PV to the power 1.3 is equal to constant. So that is N is equal to 1.3. So you have to find out pressure and temperature at various points, the efficiency of this engine, and the mean effective pressure. Okay, so let us begin to find the temperature and pressures. So process 1 to 2 is polytropic. So don't write isentropic this time because N is given as 1.3. So it's a polytropic process. Okay, I forgot to discuss that during the analysis. So N is given as PV to the power 1.3, N is 1.3, so it is a polytropic process. So you have to write process 1 to 2 is polytropic. But remember, let it be isentropic or polytropic. So the PVT relationships is same. Only thing is you have to replace gamma by N, that's all. So no need to worry whether it's polytropic or isentropic, but be careful, you have to write polytropic. So by mistake also don't substitute for gamma as a usual practice, so you have to take it as n. So T2 by T1 is equal to V1 by V2 to the power n minus 1, which is nothing but Rc to the power n minus 1, or T2 is equal to T1 Rc to the power n minus 1. So substitute here, simplify, you will get the temperature at point 2 or at the end of compression process is 598.59 Kelvin or 325.59 degree Celsius. Similarly, P2 by P1 is equal to V1 by V2 to the power n or Rc to the power n. P2 is equal to P1 Rc to the power n, so it is 10 to the power 1.3. So you get as 19.95 bar. Okay. Now coming to the process 3 to 4, which is a constant pressure process. So you have T4 by T3 is equal to V4 by V3. So V4 by V3 you can write as V4 by V2. That you can write as V4 by V5 into V1 by V2. So these are some adjustments are required. Okay. So as to simplify the steps. So that is nothing but Rc by Re, because V1 by V2 is Rc, whereas V5 by V4 is Re. So that is what is coming to the denominator. So T4, therefore T4 is equal to T3 into Rc by Re. Why you are using this step? Because we are given the value of compression ratio as well as the expansion ratio in this problem. So that is the advantage. Okay. So substitute, you will find the relationship between T4 and T3 as T4 is equal to 1.818 T3. So in this step, since both T4 and T3 are unknown, so you have to do this step. First you have to develop the relationship between T4 and T3. So that is what, when you start thinking and analyzing, so this will automatically comes to your mind how to proceed. Now why this is done, we will see in the next slide. This is the step here. So you are given heat addition at constant pressure is the twice the heat addition at a constant volume. That is Q in 3 to 4 is equal to 2 into Q in 2 to 3. So this is at a constant pressure, so Cp into T4 minus T3, and this is at a constant volume 2 Cv into T3 minus T2. So you simplify this. Before simplifying, you substitute for T4 as 1.818 T3. You see, this is the advantage here, because the T2 is already known. So in this equation, T3 and T4 are two unknowns, but you are able to express T4 in terms of T3. See, this is what you see in the exam you have to think. Then you have to approach. See, there are different, because all the problems what you get in the exam may not be the type one of the types which we solve here or your class or somewhere else, or what you find in the books and all. So then you have to think and you have to approach. That is what the understanding of the concept is very, very important. So it becomes Cp into 1.81 T3 minus Cp T3 as usual. Here 2 Cv T3 minus 2 Cv into T2. So here simplify, to 2 Cv T2 is taken to one side, and all the T3 terms, that is 2 Cv and then 1 minus 1.18 Cp minus Cp, that is this term. So they are all that it becomes plus Cp to this side. So all that is, try to write it in a paper and simplify. So you will get 2 Cv T2 is equal to 2 Cv minus 1.818 Cp plus Cp whole into T3. Okay. So T3 is equal to 2 Cv T2 divided by this. So substitute and simplify. You will get T3 as 1400.16 Kelvin or 1127.16 degree Celsius. See, step by step you have to do the simplification. Take a paper and pen and simplify. Don't just look into the slides. So once you find out T3, so easily you can find out T4, because T4 already you derived an expression linking T4 with the T3, which is 1.818 T3. T4 is equal to 1.818 T3. So you'll get it as 2545.49 or 2272.49 degree Celsius. Process 2 to 3 is constant volume process. Okay. Process 2 to 3 is a constant volume process. So P3 by P2 is equal to T3 by T2. So P3 is P2 into T3 by T2. So after substitution and simplification, you will get it as 46.66 bar, and P4, which is equal to P3, because P3 to 4 is a constant pressure process, is also 46.66 bar. Okay. Now Process 4 to 5 is polytropic, is again polytropic. T5 by T4 is equal to V4 by V5 to the power n minus 1, which is nothing but 1 by Re to the power n minus 1. So T5 is equal to T4 into 1 by Re to the power n minus 1. So substitute for T4, Re and n minus 1. So you'll get T5 as 1526.37 Kelvin or 1253.37 degree Celsius. Similarly, you can find out the pressure P5. P5 by P4 is equal to V4 by V5 to the power n or 1 by Re to the power n. So P5 is equal to P4 into 1 by Re to the power n. Substitute and simplify. So you'll get it as 5.087 bar. Okay, so this is how you have to first you have to find out only temperatures up to 4.4, then you have to start finding pressures. So then you have to find out finally T5 and P5. So this is how you have to proceed. Okay. Now coming to the efficiency of the engine. So let us find out the heat added at constant pressure. So Q in 3 to 4 is nothing but Cp into T4 minus T3. So after substitution for Cp, T4 and T3, you will get it as 1151.05 kilojoules per kg. And already you know that heat added at constant pressure is twice the heat added at constant volume. So therefore heat added at constant volume is half of heat added at constant pressure. That is 0.5 into 1151.05, which you will get it as 1075.525 kilojoules per kg. Or else you can, if you want to use the direct formula, that also you can use Q in 2 to 3 is equal to Cv into T3 minus T2. See, anything you can use that, no issues. Okay. So total heat added is Q in 2 to 3 plus Q in 3 to 4. So if you add these two terms, you will get 1026.575 kilojoules per kg. And heat rejected Q out as usual is Cv into T5 minus T1. Substitute for Cv, T5 and T1, you will get it as 880.53 kilojoules per kg. So the efficiency of the cycle eta Th dual is equal to 1 minus Q out by Q in. Substitute for Q out and Q in and simplify, you will get it as 0.5099 or 50.99%. So this is how you have to proceed to calculate the efficiency of the dual cycle. Now coming to the mean effective pressure. So let us find out W net first. So W net is Q in minus Q out. So substitute for Q in and Q out, you will get it as 846.045 kilojoules per kg. Now you have to find out V1 and V2, which is nothing but RT1 by P1. So here R has to be in kilojoules and P1 has to be in kilopascal. So T1 is 300, so you will get it as 0.861 meter cube per kg. Here V2 is equal to RT2 by P2. Okay, so accordingly you substitute for R, T2 and P2, so you will get as 0.0861 meter cube per kg. So as usual, mean effective pressure is nothing but Pm is equal to W net by stroke volume, or stroke volume is nothing but V1 minus V2. Okay, so Pm you will get after substitution and simplification as 1091.81 kilopascal or 10.92 bar. Okay, so this all procedure remains same for all the cycles. Now let us solve this problem. The compression ratio for a single cylinder engine operating on dual cycle is 9. The maximum pressure in the cylinder is limited to 60 bar. The pressure and temperature at the beginning of compression are 1 bar and 30 degrees Celsius respectively. Heat is added at constant pressure up to 4% of the stroke. Cylinder diameter is 250 mm and stroke length is 300 mm. Determine the ASC of the cycle, the power developed if the number of cycles per second is 3. Okay, so this is also a problem on dual cycle. So as usual you can draw the PV diagram for the dual cycle. So single cylinder engine, compression ratio is 9. The maximum pressure is limited to 60 bar. So RC is 9. So maximum pressure is P3 is equal to P4 is equal to 60 bar. The pressure and temperature at the beginning of compression are 1 bar and 30 degrees Celsius. So T1 is 303 Kelvin, P1 is 1 bar, okay, and K is 0.04%. So heat is added at constant pressure up to 4% of the stroke. So K is equal to 0.04, okay, or 4%. Then D is equal to 0.25 meters, diameter of the cylinder, and stroke length is 300 mm, 0.3 meters. Okay. So let us find out the temperature and pressures. So process 1 to 2 is isentropic. T2 is equal to T1 RC to the power gamma minus 1. You can see now I am directly writing the expression for T2 in terms of T1 RC and gamma. So substitute here. So you'll get a 729.69 Kelvin or 456.69 degree Celsius. Similarly, P2 is equal to P1 RC to the power gamma. So 1 into 9 into 9 to the power 1.4. So 21.67 bar. So process 2 to 3 is a constant volume process. So for a constant volume process, you know that T3 by T2 is equal to P3 by P2. So here maximum pressure in the cycle is given P3. So easily you can use this formula. So T3 is equal to T2 into P3 by P2. So substitute and simplify. You will get the temperature at the end of the constant volume heat addition is 2020.36 Kelvin or 1747.36 degree Celsius. Now before proceeding further, you have to find out the cutoff ratio. So K is given as 4% or 0.04. So rho is equal to 1 plus K into RC minus 1. Substitution and simplification will give you the cutoff ratio as 1.32. And also you know that rho is equal to V4 by V3. You see here V4 by V3, or it is also equal to T4 by T3. That means T4 is equal to rho into T3. Ultimate intention is to find out T4, not to find out rho, because rho is already found out. So substitute for rho and T3, so you'll get as 2666.87 Kelvin or 2393.87 degree Celsius. That's the temperature at the end of the constant pressure heat addition process. Now coming to process 4 to 5, which is isentropic, T5 by T4 is equal to V4 by V5 to the power gamma minus 1, but V5 is equal to V1 here. So you can write as V3 by V1 into V4 by V3. Okay, so V3 is nothing but V2, so you write as V2 by V1 and V4 by V3. So V2 by V1 is nothing but 1 by RC and V4 by V3 is nothing but rho. So T5 by T4 you will get as rho to the power gamma minus 1 by RC to the power gamma minus 1. So from that expression you can write the expression for T5 as T4 into rho to the power gamma minus 1 divided by RC to the power gamma minus 1. So substitute and simplify, so you'll get T5 as 1337.46 Kelvin or 964.46 degree Celsius. Okay. Now let us calculate the air standard efficiency of the cycle. So for that we require the Q in and Q out. So Q in is nothing but Q in 2 to 3 plus Q in 3 to 4, which is CV into T3 minus T2 plus Cp into T4 minus T3. So substitute and simplify, so you'll get Q in as 1576.44 kilojoules per kg. Heat rejected, Q out is equal to CV into T5 minus T1. So substitute again and simplify, you'll get Q rejected or Q out, heat rejected or Q out as 670.94 kilojoules per kg. Okay. Now coming to the efficiency of the cycle, as usual, general expression for efficiency, eta Th dual is equal to 1 minus Q out by Q in. So 670.94 divided by 1576.4 for 1 minus of that. Okay, so you'll get it as 0.5743 or 57.43%. Okay, next you have to calculate the power developed if the number of cycles per second is 3. So here it is directly given it as 3. Okay, so now for this let us calculate the stroke volume first. So Vs, which is nothing but pi d square by 4 into L. So substitute for d square and L, so you'll get stroke volume as 0.014726 meter cube. So now you have to find out the clearance volume. For that you have to use the expression for compression ratio, which is nothing but RC is equal to Vs plus Vc by Vc or 1 plus Vs by Vc. So you will get expression for Vc as Vs by Rc minus 1. So substitute, so you will get the clearance volume as 0.00184 meter cube. So clearance volume is this, as all of you know, this space is the clearance volume, and from there to here, so this is stroke volume. Okay, so this is stroke volume and this space is the clearance volume. So I repeatedly told you about this. Sorry. Now let us find out the total volume, that is V1, volume at V1. So that is nothing but Vs plus Vc. So that is from here to here, total volume. So V1 is equal to Vt is equal to Vs plus Vc. So you'll get as 0.01657 meter cube. So now let us find out the mass of air. So that is why we found this V1 here, and we are given the stroke volume and the stroke length and the diameter. So M is equal to P1 V1 by RT1. So P1 should be substituted in kilopascal, R should be in kilojoules. Okay, this is meter cube, this is Kelvin, so you'll get as 0.01905 kg. Now the last power developed is equal to work done per cycle into number of cycles per second. So work done per cycle is nothing but W net is equal to M into Q in minus Q out. So far you might have calculated Q in or Q out, but you calculate it in kilojoules per kg. But it has to be calculated for kilojoules per cycle. So whenever you want to find out power, the work should be kilojoules per cycle. That means you should have the value of M. So M you have to calculate and you have to multiply for Q in minus Q out to get the W net in kilojoules per cycle. So after substitution here, you will get W net as 17.249 kilojoules per cycle and power as 51.747 kilowatt. Okay, so this is how you have to approach. So once again, I request you to work out. Okay, also take the question paper problems also. Suppose if you have any issues with solving question paper problems also, you can approach me, you can contact me. Okay, so with this I conclude the air standard cycles, so both theory as well as the numericals. So this is the 7th video lecture. So I conclude part 1 air standard cycles. So thank you all.